The others are here just in case. Just in case. I know there's so much else we do.
She said that she would show you?
I don't know where they want me. Here. Oh. Yes, sir. Yeah, sure, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So now, I just want to see y'all together. Hold on. I gotta have me a picture. Can I get a picture of Oh, come on in. Yes. There it is. Okay. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Oh, yeah? That's sweet. There it is. I get to hang
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, it's a little cloudy today, but it's not projected to get sunny. But the best part about it is that you don't have to leave today feeling burnt up, and then you have the rest of spring and summer to enjoy. But yeah, once again, good morning, everyone. Morning. Yeah, we're starting a little bit later. There are a lot of people still out there, sort of setting things up, but the day will pick up as we go. But before we get started, I just wanted to just thank you all for being here and actually just acknowledge some people who made it possible. There are some major events happening today, so the coordinators of that. So actually, first of all, we have Sports Fest happening. Dentu's in the back there. Let's give a hand to Dentu. And also, we have the Belvedere Service Project. We have Justin Okamoto, Mika Rothstein. We have Greg Jones, Chris Wilkening organizing that. We also have Milhan Stevens and his crew organizing the chess tournament later today. And we have so much more. There's vending happening, registration, Heavily USA is helping. There's so many people helping out today. We'll recognize everybody as we go. But of course, this event's inspiration comes from Dr. Young. Dr. Young is the one who asked for an event to bring all of us together at this time. Let's give a hand to Dr. Chankit Young at this time. And I can't acknowledge Dr. Young without acknowledging my boss, my sub-regional director. So let's acknowledge Naokimu Shiroda. And in the house, we also have our ACLC president as well, sub-regional board director, Dr. Jackson. Okay, so we're going to get started now. And just to enliven the atmosphere a bit, Heavenly USA is here and ready, together with Ava Schneider, to lift up the spirits by singing By the Spring of Life. So let's welcome up our Heavenly USA and Ava.
Good morning, everybody. So the sun is still waking up, so we have to wake up the sun, right? Like Dr. Young says, we have to wake up the sun. So we're going to start with By the Spring of Life. So you can feel free to stand up and sing along with us. Starts with we're marching to the blessed land. We're going to start it the way Heavenly USA GPA starts. So, Eva, Selena, Tosh, Johnson, what does it start with?
It starts with the wind.
We're marching to the blessed land of Canaan with delight. We're leaving all our heavy burdens here. At last we are released and free from being slaves to sin. We're coming to the blessed spring of life. Hey, singing, coming to the spring where living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. future finds us lacking, we will not despair. We're coming to the blessed spring of life. Coming into the spring where living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. Evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living. Hey, coming to the spring. Coming to the spring where living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. Evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living. All right, all the brothers coming to the spring. Hey!
We'll be living evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living evermore.
Coming to the spring where living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living evermore. Again, coming to the spring. Coming to the spring where living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living evermore. One more time! Coming to the spring where living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living evermore. In glory we'll be living evermore. In glory we'll be living evermore. In glory we'll be living So for the next song, we're gonna sing "You Are My Sunshine." Yes, and this reminds us of the Yankee Stadium where we'll sing, and then the sun will come out, and all the rain forecasts will disappear. So you have to sing with all your heart and faith and positivity and your love for God, and then it's just gonna disappear, all the rain. Okay? Okay. Okay, all together. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. There is a meadow high on a mountain where skylark and wild rose abound. Eternal home when my heart's desire shines like gold at the rainbow's end. You are my sunshine. Think about your mother. Sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Through the long winter, the harsh winds blowing, all creatures die on barren soil. Now sunlight warming the ice to streamlets. Earth and spring is a garden of joy. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Let's sing to God. You are my sunshine, my only You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine. Sing to the person next to you. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine. Sing to your family. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine. Sing to your friends. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my Sing to your parents. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. One more time for the whole world. Sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Yay! Let's have a great day. Now the sun is shining nice and bright for all of us. Let's remain standing and please join me in prayer. Good morning, our dear, most beloved Heavenly Parent, and good morning to our beloved true parents and all of our brothers and sisters in the spirit world. Hello! We're here at Belvedere Estate, and we're just so happy that we could be gathered on this beautiful Saturday morning to celebrate the coming of this new season of spring. And this is such an exciting time because this is a time where symbolically spring shows that all of the fruits and investment, all of it starts to come into fruition. We see the leaves growing on the trees, becoming green again, all the beautiful flowers that are blossoming, and everyone's looking a little bit more happy now that winter has ended, Heavenly Parent. And I really pray that today can be a day that as we fellowship with one another as brothers and sisters, we can really feel your presence amidst us, Heavenly Parent. We can feel and not just know that you're a God that's invisible, but you are a very visible God. You're right here living through us, Heavenly Parent. You're right with us through our brothers and sisters, through our parents, through our children, through our aunts and uncles, through our friends. And Heavenly Parent, we're so grateful that you gave us this family where we can rejoice with one another and we can really create an environment and place where you really want us to experience true love. All you want is for us to feel is your deep, deep love for us as our Heavenly Parents. So I pray, God, that today as we listen to amazing words from our leaders, as we play amazing games, we're going to be riding horses, getting our face painted, bouncing in some bounce houses. I hope no one gets hurt and that everyone can stay safe. And I just pray that this can be a time that can bring you a lot of joy, Heavenly Parent. And this is such a precious place that our true parents have given to us so that we can fellowship as brothers and sisters. So we want to thank you. We want to invite you. We love you so, so much, Heavenly Parent. And we want to offer and report this prayer in all of our names. And in my name, Jungsun Batino, daughter of the Batino family, a blessing to your family. Aju.
Let's go, man, everyone. You may all be seated. All right. Once again, welcome to Springfest 2023. Welcome. I believe the last time we had Springfest was actually back in 2019, and it was on a Saturday, and we have Family Fest the next day. But this time it's sort of all combined together, and it's going to be an exciting day. And so, just to introduce, today is Earth Day, April 22nd. Yeah, let's give a hand to that. I believe since since 1970, it was established as a day to celebrate the Earth. So we have a special presentation on that to start off the day as well. And so I'm just going to give you a quick orientation of what's happening. Some of you have already seen this already, but just so that we're all on the same page of what's happening today. So today we're going to hear some presentation from, we're going to hear a greeting from Dr. Young, President Naokimi, and then Dr. Sun Jin Moon. She's not able to physically be here for security reasons because of the opening of the Chongwon-gun. There are some details there, that reasons why she couldn't be here, but she sent in a recorded message. And afterwards, we have people from HJ IFIS. So Sun Jin is the executive director of HJ IFIS. That's the Hyojung International Foundation for the Unity of Sciences. And we have a couple of their constituents here. We have Greg Jones and Chris Wilkening, who will be speaking on a few things that Sun Jin will mention in her message. And so that's how we're going to start the day. And right after, their greenhouse project is going to be down there. How many of you know of the Belvedere greenhouse down there? It's been pretty desolate for some time, right? We're trying to enliven it, bring it back to life. And so there's a garden service project being led by Belvedere. So that's Justin, Mika, and of course, the constituents from HGIFIS. So you're going to be, I believe, planting some stuff, painting some pots, pretty much bringing the garden back to life. That's a project that's near and dear to also Sun Jin and True Mother's heart. And so that's what's happening in the morning. So right after this, we're going to get started there, probably end around 12:30, closer to 1 o'clock. And also right after this, we'll also have our sports festival. And so if any of you will still like to play volleyball or basketball, you can go there and register. But what's important is that right after today's program orientation here, you just book it for the fields down there, just down the fields, and the large field where you park. That's where everything will be happening. The sports tournament, that's volleyball and basketball. And then at 2 o'clock, we will have a chess tournament also happening down at the Gora House. That's organized by Milhan Stevens and a few others. Ayumi is there. So anyone who would like to play in chess, please make sure you're down there ready to play by 2 o'clock or before 2, maybe if you want to practice or something like that. I don't know. And then over here, we're going to set up 2 ping pong tables. And so those who would like to play ping pong, it's open play. Just come here. We'll set up 2 ping pong tables to play for 3 hours as well. And then at the same time, there'll be some family games as well, organized by Yasutaka. So it's a sack race, three-legged race, sack race, tug of war, lime and spoon, all of that stuff together with your family. So that's going to be happening from 2 to 5. And around 2 is when most of you would have finished eating your lunch as well. And then when everything ends, pretty much around 5 to 5:30, we're going to start a talent show. And we have a whole lineup of really talented people and a band also coming to perform for us. So that's going to happen for about 1 hour, an hour and 15 minutes to close the night. Afterwards, we'll have prizes awarded to the winners of the sports tournament and the chess tournament, as well as the family show as well. So that's what's happening today. But just as a note, there are bouncy castles out there. I know some of you, like your adults, maybe bouncy castles not for you. We did get a really big one just for you. Okay, so and you can play. I believe there's an option for a net to play volleyball in there, some dodgeball. So just feel free to check it out. It's gonna be fun. Naokimi might join you. It's gonna be fun. So bouncy castle, it's gonna be at the Rock. At the Rock, that's the flattest land we have. At the Rock, we'll set up, I believe, a total of 4 bouncy castles. One of them is gonna be pretty big. And also pony rides are gonna start. Some of you may have seen the horses already there. They're right down there. You'll see them. But around 1 o'clock is when we'll open it up, where you can go get on a pony ride. All of these have tickets, and I'll go through that in just a second. The pony rides will be for 3 hours. We have 2 ponies. That means that there may be a queue. So please feel free to engage in everything else while you wait for your turn. And also we'll have face painting down there. I believe some children are more excited about this. And so that'll happen starting around 11. Right after we're done, you can go there, get your face painted, and it'll happen throughout the day as well. So don't be shy. If you want your face painted, just go there and have it painted. Okay, so with that, actually, well, there were 2 more slides that I missed, but what's important is actually we need everyone to register. A lot of you registered online already. Thank you for doing so, but please make sure you have a pink wristband. A pink wristband just indicates that you're registered. If you don't have a pink wristband, right outside when you go out, there's going to be registration. We have 2 Heavenly USA members there registering you, or you can go down to the main parking area or the vending area as well to register, and they'll give you, I believe, 3 tickets. And you're going to need tickets to participate in some of the activities happening today. So just be sure to get those tickets there. If you need more tickets, you can just go there to buy those tickets. And with that, that about wraps up what's happening today. I hope you don't have questions because we have no time for questions. With that, I'd like to introduce just to give a greeting, our Sub-Regional Director, President Naokimi Ushiroda.
All right. Good morning, everyone. beautiful day, and I think we're gonna see some sun because of the singing that we had earlier. So today I just wanted to share just a little bit of background of how we got here, and then also 2 quotes from Mother about both spring and the environment. Yeah, actually, in October we had a family fest. I don't know if you guys were there. No, this was New Jersey, so maybe some of you weren't there. But we had a family fest hosted by New Jersey Family Church. And at that time, while we spent a lot of time and energy preparing for that, and I'm just glad that we got it done. And then Dr. Young turns to me, "Oh, we need a youth fest." So anyway, I asked if to be patient, and we extended it to January. And then there was a True Parents' birthday celebration, so we extended again to April. But thank you, team and Fred, for getting it done, and we are doing it in April. So thank you. Anyway, there is a lot of heart and vision behind this program. I know Springfest was something we did 4 years ago, and we wanted to revive that after the pandemic. It's a beautiful location here at Belvedere, and it's a chance to engage our youth, young families. And what better time than the spring to kind of re-engage. So I'm going to read one quote from you from Mother about spring. It says, "Spring signifies freshness and newness. I love spring, as it is a season of hope. Spring brings with it the expectation that as we leave the cold winter behind, our days will be vibrant with life. It awakens our dreams." So today, as we engage in different festivities, bouncy house, pony rides, I want you to include God and True Parents' words as you enjoy the nature. That all of this was part of God's original dream for us. So it's not just a pony ride, but it's that pony God designed so that you can enjoy. And bouncy house, I guess humans created bouncy houses, but God created humans. So point is, it's about intentionally inviting God in the joy of nature and our activities, and even the food. We have a whole bunch of different vendors. I hope you can enjoy the different cuisine. Also, today happens to be Earth Day. Did you guys know that? Do you know when Earth Day started? I Googled it. 1970. So it's 53 years since the first Earth Day. And yeah, actually, our True Parents, they did talk a lot about taking care of the earth. Actually, it's one of the 3 main great blessings to have proper dominion over creation. So it's really in our value system to take care of our environment. So I'm going to read one last quote for you. It's also from Mother. "We must once again establish the environment that Heavenly Parent desired to see at the outset. Today, people are causing many environmental problems all over the world. The earth is diseased. That is why I will work to protect a healthy planet Earth and create a natural environment that will provide healthy nutrients for the peoples of the future." So definitely this is something that is on Mother's heart. We also refer to Earth as Mother Earth. It's really in line with True Parents' vision to take care of the Earth. And I'm really excited that centered on the leadership of Pastor Justin, we are reviving what are you calling it? Belvedere Garden? Belvedere Garden right here. And that's going to be our first project right after this. So I hope you all enjoy today. And also, I just want to thank Dr. Young again for his vision and for his patience. And with that, yeah, thanks for also joining, coming all the way out here to spend this day together with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Alkimi. And now, yeah, the Vision Center, the one who made this all happen. Been asking for quite some time. Let's welcome up our regional president, Dr. Chong Shek-yong.
안녕하세요. Yeah, so happy to see each one of you. Yeah, it takes a long time. My dream is coming true. Now, give me. Thank you. I think this kind of the event have to be like, as an annual event, not just as one of the event. And really, as an annual event, we really need to really invest. And every year, we can improve more. Anyway, by the way, thank you everyone for coming to this historic and holy grounds of Belvedere. I want to welcome you to our Springfest today, which also happens to be Earth Day. As some of you know, some of you may already know, environmental issues weigh heavily on our true mother's mind and heart. In the past few years, Mother revived the international conference on the unity of science, giving it a new name as Shojong International Foundation for the Unity of Sciences. On the January 5th of this year, True Mother said, a heavenly conference on the unity of the sciences, centered on heavenly parents, scientists are working together for the movement to save our planet that is being destroyed. We must restore everything to its original purpose as given by the Creator. When God created Adam and Eve, He bestowed on them the three great blessings: be fruitful and multiply and have dominion over the creation. When we hear this, it's easy to assume that God wanted to us to simply take care of the creation and be lost over it. Of course, the first human ancestor fell away from God, and this could never be realized. However, there is a secret that true parents know about nature that I want to share with you. This is my real experience. Father once called all the national messiahs to join a 40-day workshop in the Pantanal in Paraguay for training. We lived in very simple conditions and environment was very miserable. Maybe some of them, I think not so many people have that kind of experience. It was a boiling hot every day, and there was swarms of mosquitoes everywhere. We had to see through these uncomfortable conditions through hours and hours of fundoke, and Father's talks about the importance of the becoming one with the nature. We need to start the fundoke from very, very early morning. And then when we come back very late, and then we start to have the kind of reflection later on, Father, and start to again the fundoke. Sometimes 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I see, no, the one who only reading the Father, so he's only wake up. Everybody's sleeping. Even look at Father, he's very much struggling about to wake up. That kind of situation, but wow, this was a really hard training. Of course, Father asked all national messiah to fish in the rivers. In the beginning, I could not catch anything, any fish. I never did any kind of fishing experience. I thought that it was a skill that I had to develop, and many national messiah brought very nice equipment, and then prepare very well. But I did not, prepare well. Also, I don't have much experience of the fishing. I had no natural ability for fishing, but then I realized that I needed to make a strong determination and offer sincere 정성. And when I face some difficulties, and I always think that I need to put my 정성. And then they give us a very simple food. I decide, why Father called all national Messiah? I don't want to waste my time. That's why I determine, how can I get answer from heaven? Father said, you need to unite with the nature. If you really put in your utmost sincerity at heart, and that I am telling you, end of the 40-day workshop, each one of you, you can have incredible experience with nature and Heavenly God. I really want to have that kind of experience. And then I give up to put my even sun cream. And then I can see later on, one week already, I think my face more black than any African boys. So black. I cannot recognize, oh, you are Dr. Young, or you cannot recognize that much. Everybody putting the sun cream, but I really want to unite with nature. And then I did. Every morning I wake up at 3 a.m. and get up from the room. Oh my goodness. I start to pray. Almost I cannot pray because group of the mosquito coming and biting me. But anyway, I really seriously determined and pray more than 1 hour. And plus I do morning fasting condition. In the beginning, my result is almost zero. And then on more than 50 people there. And then my result almost, the last one. It was not easy to offer Jeongseong in those conditions as we stood fishing in the river, and swarms of the mosquitoes would surround you, biting everywhere, your nose and your lips and arms and neck everywhere. Many people would become, distracted by the mosquito bites. But I made the determination to pray, even though these are most uncomfortable conditions. Father would ask us every day how many fish we had caught. There was a competition going amongst the national messiahs. In the beginning, I had nothing, but by the end of the workshop, I was one of the top fishermen. I got a number one result. That's why I realized that. Even though I don't have much skill, I realize that the fish knows who has the longing heart. I realized a very, very important lesson. Fish buy to Jeongseong. Even though, I catch so many fish, besides some men cannot catch even one. That's why that guy feel very strange. She asked him to change the seat. Okay, change the seat. But he cannot get anything. And the fish come to me again. I realized that, wow, fish buy to Jeongseong. One who has a longing heart to make friends with the fish. Fish noticed that. I learned many things. Father always said that the fish represent all mankind. Each fish represented a person that could be saved. We must invest our whole whole selves into offering our deepest Jeongseong, to save all of humankind. When I was living at the end of the 40 days, I felt an incredible breakthrough that the nature was talking to me on the way go back. My heart, because I totally invested, I feel that no more power left. That kind of the really 100%, 120% investment. And then on the way go back, I first time experience tree talk to me, river talk to me, sky talk to me. Do you know what they are talking about? Don't go. Let's live together. Let's live together. I first time this kind of experience. Then I realized that what Father said, you need to have that kind of experience, oneness with nature. How do you get experience oneness with nature? You need to invest everything, 100%, 120%, no more power left. If you have that kind of the total investment, whatever you do, not just only public mission, even your working place, in your study, whatever you do, like a true father's attitude, whatever you do in any mission, if you invest 100%, 120%, I am telling you, you can have an incredible experience. Every day I'm doing morning devotion without missing single day. This is not simple. But the more I realize that, wow, how Heavenly Father invested so much, to create each one of the human being. To raise up each one of the human being, how much God invests, especially for the young guys. When I look at each one of our second generation, third generation, our young people here, you do not know God's investment for each one of you. You do not notice how much your father and mother raise up you, putting so much heart. When you notice that, already your level of spirituality is different level. So I had such a beautiful experience. I first time to hear the voice from the river, from trees, from sky. And then they really embracing me. And I also embrace the whole nature. Wow. I understand what Father is talking about, the unity with the nature. And I felt I wanted to live there forever. I was overcome with the tears and deep appreciation for this tough environment. I want to live there forever. And my determination, because Father go to the Danbury prison and went to the Hungnam prison. He doesn't want to get out from there. Here is God's will. I want to die here. My mission is here. He do not think about to get out prison and then do something. God's will is here. I want to invest here. This kind of attitude, he really focused right moment. And now and here. And then he find out the really God's will. That's why our young people, whatever you do study, you need to put your all effort. When you do public mission in that area, you put all your effort. Then your life will become very meaningful. You see, I really appreciate our Naokimi. In the beginning, of course, I worked with a young guy here and there, but as a nationally, the first time as a second generation. And then, since I work together with Naokimi, I am telling you, thank God, thank our true parents. He really, really working so hard, day and night. So why don't you give a big hand? I feel that our American movement have a great hope. So even, some of the young generation, second generation, take over the public mission. For example, our Justin and, our Miran, and they are really doing great job. So when I reported to the mother was really, really happy. I waited for this kind of day, from long time ago. Today, I am really glad to see each one of you. This just now I experienced, I never experienced that before. When you really invest total investment in whatever you do, then you can experience God through nature. My character becomes elevated to another dimension. That's why I love Father's concept. This one become my slogan. God's concept of the salvation is total salvation. No one missing. I love, because God's the parents. That's why when I look at the black people, white people, yellow people, Eastern people, Western people, does not matter, because God is a parent of all mankind. Each one of the children of the human being, then I need to love them. That's why when I think about the concept of total salvation, I can embrace America, I can embrace South America, I can embrace Africa, Europe, everybody. I love the concept of total salvation. So, to save the all mankind, total salvation. Next one, if we have that kind of concept and vision, you need to have a total mobilization. You need to mobilize your intellect part and then your emotional part, the part of the will, your energy and body, everything, you need to mobilize. And finally, total investment. You have that kind of concept, you mobilize what you have, and finally invest everything 100%, 120%. And then you surely know, what you are doing, you really realize that God is a really living God, and that you can find the meaning of your life. This was a secret that our true parents knew all along. That through the becoming one with nature, we can experience God. Have you ever had the experience of standing in nature before such incredible beauty that you were humbled by its magnificence, its majesty? We feel a sense of awe and wonder. So social scientists, they have said of this emotion that wonder inspires the wish to understand, awe inspires the wish to let shine, to acknowledge and to unite. It is those moments we can feel deeply connect to divine, our heavenly parents, to brotherhood of humanity, and to all living things on this planet. In summary, I leave you with this word from our Father, found in the book, The Way of the Students. Father said, you have to know how to love nature and love people. You all have to understand that people who cannot love people and cannot love nature also cannot love God. The things of creation are symbolic existence of God, because humankind is the substantial existence of God. The person who knows how to love the creation and humanity will come to love God. There is nothing difference among God and human being and nature. This is my conclusion. As long as you truly love nature, you truly can love each one of human being. As long as you truly love each one of the human being, without exception, definitely 100%, 120% can love God. So love same things. Your love to God automatically go to the human being, automatically go to the each nature. That's why you can discover through loving nature. You can discover God through the loving human being. Finally understand who is God. You can understand what is the purpose of God's creation. Finally, you understand what is the purpose of your life. I hope everybody really a good experience here, because now Kimi want to control my time, and also I want to have the another today beautiful ceremony. Since I came to America, I checked how many ACLC ministers have the 40-day separation and 30-day ceremony. It's just only few, less than three. I feel that it is a problem. So we teach really divine principle and then let them do 30-day ceremony. I think more than now 350 Christian minister complete the 43-day condition. And then I feel that when I ask, still that is not enough. Let them learn thoroughly divine principle. So I know I am the one who initiated importance of the Fundoke. And then our ACLC staff and some of the ministers and guiding them, teaching EDP in a 12 hours content. EDP 12 hours content summarizes more than 85% of the original divine principle. And then my purpose is let them learn EDP thoroughly. At the end, let them learn, our true parents course. Let them know very clearly our true parents' identity. And then that is enough. Let them register Chunbo. That is my goal. So today, I think we are first time a historical, what is the inauguration ceremony in Easter Garden. Those who completed 12 LCLC ministers, they completed, EDP study from first page until end, and then they learn even true parents life course. And then we're going to have the 12 Jesus and true parents disciples appointment ceremony. It will be very beautiful event. I want to increase the next is a 36 couple, 72 couple, 124, 430, 77, and the later on, if we reach at least 3,000 Christian ministers completely understand divine principle and register Chanbon, I think this is the way really can change our nation of America. I hope this today event not just only as an event and just only externally enjoy what. You need to know, what God asks us to do. You need to understand more internally and spiritually. I hope each one of you have a good time. Next year, we can improve more as an annual event. Today, I declare that need to do as an annual event and then really have to prepare more a nice way and better way. I hope everybody have a good time. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Young. Thank you. I believe Dr. Young and President Kim will have to step out in about 15 minutes. And in case you didn't already notice, we are going to need a little bit more time. We have a presentation now from Dr. Sun Jin Moon. She's going to be given, in case you don't know, Dr. Sun Jin Moon, once again, is the Executive Director of the Hyojung International Foundation for the Unity of Sciences. Actually, yeah, let's just, Dr. Young and Alchemy has to leave, so let's just see them out. And so she is the executive director of HGIFIS. And some of you may know in recent years, Mother has been speaking more about the environment. And so Dr. Sun Jin Moon's presentation is about what the current environmental crisis is in the world and what the proposed solutions are from our true parents. And so she took some time this week to record this and send it because she couldn't be present here physically. So with that, let's like to welcome up Dr. Sun Jin Moon.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to just share my screen. I'm hoping you can all see this because I'm trying to do this on Zoom at the same time. This is HJIFIS for Earth Day Springfest, and our motto is loving nature and healing the earth. I am Dr. Sun Jin Moon in this little box up there, Executive Director of HGIFIS, environmentalist, nature lover, and a sustainability educator. And I'm happy to welcome you all to Springfest and Earth Day. And it's a very special day to celebrate 2023. This is an event you're all attending. I want to thank you for all being here to let your voices be heard for what's meaningful to you and what brings you joy. And what we're celebrating here is all life, all of you, and all things in creation. So I hope you can have a wonderful day and enjoy this presentation and potentially plant something in our garden ministry at the end of this event and presentation. So I hopefully see you all there. Earth Day, the significance and history is on April 22nd in 1970 was started by Senator Gaylord Nelson and Dennis Hayes. They started an environmental movement that went from faith groups, organizations, students. It inspired 20 million Americans, 10% of the population of the United States at the time, to really take action against what was happening in the environment, right? Polluting factories, power plants, raw sewage, toxic dumps, pesticides, et cetera, right? What we're still seeing today. And that began in 1970, and by the end of that year in 1970, that Earth Day led to the creation of the US creating the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, as well as multiple laws and policies that helped protect millions of men, women, children, and hundreds of species from extinction, creating this global movement of environmentalism that spanned the decades from 1990 all the way through to 2020, making this a global organization with more than 75,000 global partners in 192 countries, as well as hopefully to mobilize 1 billion people worldwide to transform environmental action for our planet. So we really hope that today is a day that you can learn the significance and be part of that change we want to see. And if you're interested, please sign into the earthday.org, become a member, volunteer, sponsor, donate, and act, because this is Earth, our home, and all life is our family. So we hope that you do really be that change. So this is the topics that we'll cover. And it's kind of in this picture right now, what's happening here is, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think that is? And of course, this is virtual, so I'm assuming that you're all responding. That's the planet Earth, right? Not only is it the planet Earth, it's our home. It's our only home. Everything we have in our lives, whether it be food, shelter, clothing, nourishment, pets, right? The beautiful cherry blossom flowers in my background, everything we have, everything we own, everything that sustains our life comes from this amazing blue dot in the vast expanse of space. And when you think about it, that is amazing. It's a miracle. But we're here today on Earth Day to discuss what's happening to our home, right? And we want to educate ourselves to not only understand what's happening and how to prevent it and what the solutions are and how we can take part in that solution. So we're going to talk about the existential threat of climate change. I don't know if you've probably heard it, you don't believe it, whatever the case. We're going to go in and learn about it today, and hopefully it will change the way you see all life on this planet. So what is an existential crisis or threat? As a definition, it's defined as a threat to people's existence or survival, right? This is the Earth, this is our home, and it's got an existential threat, threatening its survival. And according to the US Secretary of Defense, Lloyd J. Austin III, names that existential threat as climate change. In his quote, "Today, no nation can find lasting security without addressing the climate crisis. We face all kinds of threats in our line of work, but few of them truly deserve to be called existential. The climate crisis does," he said, adding that climate change is making the world more unsafe and we need to act. So that's the Secretary of Defense calling this climate crisis an existential crisis to our survival. So then the question is, what is the climate crisis? We've heard a lot about, oh, climate change, whatever, right? So what is it? Well, according to scientists, we're in the Anthropocene epoch, which is an unofficial unit of geological time used to describe the most recent period in the Earth's history where human activity has had a significant impact on the planet's climate and ecosystems. So this is known as climate change, which refers to the long shift in temperatures and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, such as variations in the solar cycle, but since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, like you see in this picture here. All of that pollution leading to this barren landscape. So it's not just a hoax. I'm going to say that because I've heard it. Global leading organizations on climate change all say the same thing, all right? And so we're going from NASA, right? From top scientists across the globe concluded that it is unequivocal that the increase of CO2, methane, and nitrous oxide in the atmosphere over the industrial era is a result of human activities, and human influence is the principal driver of many of these changes. Another one, the United Nations, right? Secretary Antonio Guterres said, "The climate crisis is killing us. It is undermining not just the health of our planet, but the health of people everywhere through toxic air pollution, diminishing food security, higher risks of infectious disease outbreaks, record extreme heats, drought, floods, and more. Human health, livelihoods, household budgets, and national economies are being pummeled as fossil fuel addiction spirals out of control." And the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which has over 700 plus scientists, top scientists, climate scientists, peer-reviewed, saying that it's unequivocal that climate change has already disrupted human and natural systems. And currently, we're not getting to the change we need. So climate resilient development prospects are increasingly limited if current greenhouse gas emissions do not rapidly decline, especially if the 1.5 degrees Celsius global warming is exceeded in the near term with high confidence. So that is not good. So when we look at this, as you see that timeline since the 1800s and till today and beyond, this is a great spike, right? The global population, energy use, tropical forest loss, urban population, GDP, capitalism is going up, but at the same time, we are polluting the world, right? With the 79% of total greenhouse gas emissions, CO2, methane, nitrous oxide, all on the rise. And that leads to what we're talking about, the global warming, with a host of detrimental consequences, where you'll see ecosystems, agriculture, sea levels, human health, and just life at large, right? All around the world. So this is what we've been seeing. From this time, we've had a warming rate at least 20 times faster, right? And we are warned to keep everything under the 1.5 degrees Celsius in the near term, but we are not meeting that challenge. So what are the risks potentially? Now, these are projected studies to understand over time the climate change impacts on the hot and cold extreme temperatures that accelerates and could be responsible for 5 million deaths globally every year. And when you have a study like that, that puts 5 million deaths yearly in a peer-reviewed journal in Nature Communications, they found that climate change could cause 83 million excess deaths by 2100. And people say, oh, 2100 is far away. No, it's not that far away. It's your children's future, your grandchildren's future. This is all going to be impacted. And just to understand the impact daily that we don't see, because pollution in the air, we can't see microparticles, and we don't know what we're breathing in every second, right? But the pollution and the human health crisis is real. As of 2023, according to the World Health Organization, 9 out of 10 people in the world are breathing air that contains unsafe levels of pollutants. So what is pollution responsible for? 21% of deaths from cardiovascular disease, 26% of the deaths due to heart disease, 23% of the deaths of stroke, 51% of the deaths due to chronic pulmonary disease, as well as 43% of deaths to lung cancer. So when we see that pollution is having an extreme impact on our human health, we've got to be concerned, right? Because exposures to outdoor pollution could increase the global death by 20% and can cut life expectancy in about 2.2 years. And indoor air pollution contributes to 2 million deaths annually. And in countries where they don't have, heating systems, they have wood or kerosene burning stoves, which increase by 9 to 23%. And by 2050, air pollution will become the biggest cause of premature death, killing an estimated 3.6 million people a year. And that varies because in 2019, environmental hazards were responsible for an estimated 11.3 million. So adding all these risks together, we are doing ourselves and the world a huge disservice. As well as when we look at the world, the land, right, on this beautiful planet, 35 to 40% of the world's land is being converted to agriculture. What does that mean? We're chopping forests down to create, in green are the farms to grow crops like soy, corn, wheat to feed your animals. And in orange are the farms to farm animals. So this is the livestock we're creating, right? Feeding and creating and chopping on all those trees. So where is the land left? Where are the trees? Well, this is what's happening. 30% of the tropical rainforests in the world are lost. And as you can see in this about 30 years, picture of Bolivia from before all the tropical land and after. And this is happening all over on a mass scale globally, leading to serious problems because when we deforest, we are degrading and damaging the earth due to providing tangible goods such as fiber, food, medicines, as well as essential ecological services, including habitat for biodiversity, carbon storage, and moderation of freshwater flows. More under threat than ever before. And deforestation has eliminated a substantial capacity of forests to sequester CO2. So when we cut down the forests, the trees can't capture that CO2, creating a total area of 437 million hectares of tree cover loss globally, equivalent to 11% decrease in tree cover since 2000. leading to 174 gigatons of CO2 emissions. So every time we cut the trees down and turn this into this is the world we're leaving our children with. And it's not just deforestation, because we're also degrading the soil health. About 33% of the soil is degraded through erosion, salinization, compaction, acidification, chemical pollution, and nutrient depletion. So currently, soil is being swept and washed away 10 to 40 times faster than it's being replenished, because it would take several hundred to over 1,000 years to create a new inch of soil. And some scientists are now saying soil is non-renewable. So at this rate, fertile soil is being lost at 24 billion tons a year due to intensive farming. And over 5 billion pounds of active ingredients from persistent chemical pesticides are applied globally each year to control insects, disease, and other issues in farming. But at the same time, we're leaving all that in our environment to pollute our families, our homes, our land. And potentially soil erosion may reduce crop yields by 10% by 2050, according to the UN, so that we're eroding our food sources and our food security. Multiple risks at hand. And that was just what we're doing on land, right? But what are we doing to our oceans? As the climate changes, we've seen the heat, global climate change rise. We are melting the glaciers. Patagonia here, 85 to 2017. A stark difference, right, of white glacial cover. Same here in the Arctic ice. See it? Before and after. So rising global temperatures are causing an increase. Since 1993 to present, global mean sea level rose by 3.4 millimeters annually. And you're saying, I know, 3.4 millimeters annually is not that much. But according to scientists, right, average sea level has swelled over 8 inches since 1880. And 3 of those inches were gained in the last 25 years. And each year, the sea rises another 3.2 millimeters, right? And by 2022, shows that the sea level rise is accelerating and projected to rise a foot by 2050. So even though it's millimeter incremental rise, it could be a foot by 2050. And that's not very far away, right? Even a small increase, they're saying we don't even need to hit the 2050 foot yet, can have a devastating effect on coastal habitats inland and cause destructive erosion, wetland flooding, aquifer and agricultural soil contamination with salt, and a lost habitat for fish, birds, and plants. And we've seen this all over the place. Dangerous hurricanes, typhoons move more slowly and drop more rain, contributing to more powerful storm surges that can strip away everything in their path. And now we have, like in the West Coast, the atmospheric rivers being dumped, and in the storms in the north with record-breaking snowfall. And we have tornadoes. All these weather systems are running amok, havoc, right? Why? Because of our human influence on the earth and climate change. And if we go as business as usual and don't keep the temperatures under 1.5 degrees Celsius, by 2100, the NASA and European data is skewed toward the higher end of that range, predicting a rise of 26 inches by the end of this century if the current trajectory continues. As well as the risk, if we continue as business as usual and do not do something about this earth and climate change, if all this ice that's remaining here in 2012, 2017, if that melted, it would raise the sea level by 216 feet. That could cause an entire state and some countries to disappear under the waves. So from Florida to Bangladesh, this could be our future. And we're slowly, millimeter by millimeter, inching our way to such a future. And it's not only the sea level rise for us on land and our homes, right? There are many beautiful creatures who live in the sea, like the sea turtle. But at the same time, we are polluting our water. That's drinking water, right? We need water to cook. We need water to live. 829,000 people a year are estimated to die from unsafe drinking water, lack of sanitation and hygiene, right? 1.23 million people died prematurely due to unsafe water. And that was just in 2019. Plastic debris, like this poor sea turtle has in his mouth, causes the deaths over 1 million seabirds and over 100,000 marine animals annually, these beautiful creatures. And nearly 50% of the natural global coastal wetlands have been lost. As well as over the past 200 years, the Earth has lost half of its coral reef cover and 3/4 of its mangrove forests. And this is a reality. By 2021, we only have 7% of the ocean protected, but we are creating 405 dead zones, spanning roughly 96,000 square miles recorded in a 2008 study. And what are dead zones? That's where oxygen, hypoxic, the state of the ocean where nothing can live without oxygen, right? And we're creating that through pollution. So this is really a serious danger to all life, beautiful creatures in the sea, our earth, and our habitats. And this poor polar bear. So the loss of biodiversity. The world is faced with the mass extinction of living things, ecosystems, wilderness, loss of biodiversity. The loss of species is currently at 10 to 100 times faster than the average of the last 10 million years. 1 million species are globally threatened with extinction. And 1/4 of the animal and plant species studied are already threatened, right? And as we went over, the land surfaces are at risk. Mangroves have been lost. And the main causes? Depletion of the forests and grasslands. Intensive agriculture and livestock. You saw the world covered in green and orange. The exploitation of wildlife through fishing, logging, trading, hunting. Pollution, as you all saw, and then the climate change, right? What it's doing to our climate in terms of heat. And invasive alien species. That doesn't mean UFOs. That means species of plants that become invasive and basically create less biodiversity to local plants. So that is the world we are in today. And what does that leave us with for humanity? Well, it leaves climate refugees, for one thing. And of course, another thing, if we're dependent on the earth to provide us with life, when we don't take care of that earth, natural resource insecurity. So everything we see here, flooding, pollution, no water, poverty, mortality rates, right? Refugee crisis, no food. Climate refugees belong to a larger group of immigrants known as environmental refugees. And according to the International Red Cross, there are more environmental refugees than political refugees fleeing from wars and other conflicts. I thought I didn't know that. The UNHCR says that 36 million people were displaced by natural disasters just in 2009. Scientists predict that a number will rise to at least 250 million by 2050. Some say it could be as high as 200 million climate refugees, environmental refugees. And when they're refugees, they starve, have poverty, right? And people cannot find shelter. And this is causing a global crisis everywhere. And that's not it, right? There are natural resources insecurity. In the next 30 years, the food supply, food security will be severely threatened if little or no action is taken to address climate change and the food system's vulnerability to climate change. And this would take a global hit, right, on our economics in the world. The global economy could lose 10% of its total economic value by 2050 due to climate change. And for US in 2050, we can lose as much as 23 trillion in reduced annual global economic output, right, as a result of climate change. So when people say, oh, we shouldn't spend money on the climate crisis, this will impact our economic standing in the world and beyond, and have all these effects: conflict, food crisis, no water, poverty, financial crisis, malnutrition, hunger, refugee, food shortages, life shortage, right? Everywhere. We are creating this kind of world. So what is an existential threat, right? Last one we heard of was maybe the dinosaurs. So we are on a brink of a sixth mass extinction. The current state of the world is on a brink of a sixth mass extinction, comparable to one that wiped out the dinosaurs. That's the conclusion of a new study which calculates that 3/4 of today's animal species could vanish within 300 years. So that is not a good thing, right? And this is Springfest, and I just gave you all tons of climate anxiety. And your cortisol levels, I'm sure, shooting up and saying, this is not the way to celebrate life. I came for Earth Day to, have a nice day outside, enjoy nature. But this is what we're fighting for, our Earth, our home, right? So even the dinosaurs are saying, if they could speak, this is what I would think they would say. What can we do to save the world, right? This is an existential threat. We're on the brink of it. But we can turn the tide if we all come together and change our ways. So this wonderful dinosaur is saying, is this Earth Day and Springfest? I hear true parents have a solution. And he's saying, I wish I had true parents. Yes. And then since we give all living things space to speak, this beautiful ice is saying, hey, dinos, you are saving the world, showing us a future we can change by keeping it cool. Silly joke. But no, it's not, because it is true, but we must deal with it, right? And I really want to applaud everyone here today participating, because only Heavenly Parent Holy Community, WFWP, HJIFAS, we're all here together as one global family, hopefully coming to the rescue. So that is why it's so important to educate ourselves about what's happening to our Earth and really take that responsibility to understand this is God's gift of creation. And what he intended is not the current reality and the numbers and the climate crisis that I'm talking about today, like a sixth mass extinction. This is beyond wild, right? But aside from that, beyond all that chaos currently and all the scientific fact that we know, true parents have started an environmental organization way before my birth, even my life on Earth. They've been thinking about how to save the planet and created HJIFAS. It's Hyojung International Foundation for the Unity of the Sciences. And the motto is loving nature and healing the earth. And after you saw that presentation, we know why we have to heal the earth. So who we are, our mission and activities, we're going to go over what we can do and how we can get involved and how to donate, join, and support our efforts and be part of that solution. So to do that, I first want to go to True Father's inspirational words, because Father has been foreseeing all of this because he knows Heavenly Parent's heart and the purpose of creation. So with regards to nature, it is urgent that we begin a movement to love all creation and to protect and conserve our environment. Religious people, in particular, must lead this movement. Unless one loves nature, which was created for human beings, one cannot claim to love people. And unless one loves people who are created to be the true children of God, one cannot say that one loves God. So Father is saying clearly, if you love God and you are holy and religious people, we must love nature and creation as all people, right? Because this is a gift from God. So True Parents, beloved True Parents, has spent over 50 plus years, right? Multiple peace organizations. And at the same time, they recognize that science is a necessary component in the pursuit of human happiness and progress. So in 1972, that's before my birth, they founded the International Conference on the Unity of Sciences. So I'm sure you heard of ICUS conferences. And based on that comprehensive vision, ICUS has brought together scientists and scholars from diverse disciplines of the natural sciences, social sciences, and humanities to work collaboratively from a holistic perspective centering on absolute values, that is, values that benefit all people everywhere. So after the ascension of True Father in 2012, my beloved, amazing mother, the Mother of Peace, really revived ICUS and named it and revived it Hyojung International Foundation for the Unity of the Sciences. So that is HJIFAS you see today. It has been a collaborative, multi-decade process of bringing environmental awareness and to truly solve the environmental issues. Human society needs to clearly understand that the whole universe is like one body in which human beings are inseparably connected to our Creator and all of creation. So that is a founder's meaning and mission behind HGIFAS. And the vision was based on the vision of true parents who have elucidated a unique viewpoint on human consciousness as it relates to the world of nature. So in such a world, we can live joyfully with our Creator, with one another, with all of creation. If we strive to this end, we believe we will be able to realize a technologically advanced and environmentally healthy world that lives on for the ages, right? And that's the spirit and filial heart of Hyojung. That's why True Mother named it Hyojung, right? HJFS. And our mission is to protect and regenerate the health of the environment, thereby enhancing the well-being of humanity and all life on Earth. So HJIFAS identifies environmental threats and their causes, as you saw in our research there, conducts research on ways to solve environmental problems directly or through partnering entities, and coordinates the implementation of best solutions in areas of the world facing environmental challenges, using technological concepts derived from both conventional science and what is considered new paradigm science. HJIFAS facilitates that creation of what we call hybrid technology to produce highly effective solutions. So here are a snapshot of our activities. So the ICUS conferences with multiple environmental issues, and ICSG, the International Conference on Science and God, and this is where frontier science is exploring the new sciences that look into the science of spirituality and energy, holistic healing, integrative healing, as well as policy proposals and publications. The Earth and I, if you haven't subscribed, please do. This is our amazing environmental magazine. We explore the bounds of human ingenuity and scientific advancement in our search for solutions to environmental challenges of the world. Ultimately, our mission is to educate our readers on how we can best restore our unique role as loving stewards of the natural world. Amazing publication. So please join. And today's activities, we offer one environmental service program here. So we have environmental outreach, developing effective solutions, educational programs, and field research, all being conducted and supported by our founder. So today we invite you to the garden ministry that will give you a potential look at what they did in a MAC church with HJIFAS 2 years ago. A variety of youth groups, Boy Scouts, college students, as well as families from the MAC church and various local faith communities all came together to develop an environmental education garden site. And it's a 10-meter, 40-meter educational garden that produces many types of vegetables that are donated to the local food bank. So that is great. Not only is it a service where it teaches us how to be one with nature, loving stewards with nature, having the heart of Hyojung to care and nurture, as well as nourish, right? People in need. Multiple levels of service and learning, many levels of love. So I hope you join that activity at the end. And as we see, since we know the purpose of creation, I don't need to share this with you since you all are enlightened beings, but we have 3 blessings, right? Be fruitful. Father taught us individual perfection, right? Multiply. Family perfection, true parents, true mother, our beautiful relationships with brothers and sisters, husband and wife, right? And of course, harmony with creation. This is how we were meant to be, in loving harmony with a heart of true love for all of God's creation, given that we all are part of the blessing of the universe, right? Our creator, our heavenly parent. So that is what we're celebrating today, right? And understanding what's at risk, right? And also understanding what we can do with science and technology and education and what we can do with health, potentially, when we really inherit God's heart and understanding of our real purpose, right? To live with love, brothers and sisters, family, and the school of love with creation. And when we're able to do that and merge science, this is Mother's amazing inspirational words. Once in a while, you hear religious people devalue science as having nothing to do with God, and secular people devalue religion as having no practical use. Both sides separate God, separate God and science, and both are in error. God wants us to develop science and technology as tools with which we can exercise dominion over love, over all things. And that is God's great blessing. We must love nature with the same heart as God and cultivate it for the benefit of humanity. This is God-centered science and technology. So true parents know that not only do we need heavenly parent, religious people to understand the true spirituality and principles of creation, right? And the purpose of our lives, but we must know how to have dominion over creation, right? And find scientific solutions, whatever solutions we can, to really be the change we want to see in the world. And since I gave you that entire presentation about the crisis, right? The crisis, climate crisis, existential crisis, the sixth mass extinction, you're all saying, what's the solution? Well, here's a very, very nice project drawdown, which puts all the climate solutions in a very short video that I hope you can watch and feel inspired by and start to learn that there are solutions. Science is providing it, like True Mother said, and we must be at the forefront to unite science and religion and the heart of Hyojung and peace, right, for the world. So please enjoy this YouTube project drawdown video. I'll mute myself.
I think she muted herself and didn't realize she was muting the.
Finally, we're going to look at ways so by improving society, we might introduce new climate solutions while also improving human well-being. When we put them all together and we see kind of the big picture of solutions, we see that a lot of these coming together give us a very powerful toolbox. For example, starting by reducing sources across those big 5 areas of electricity and food, industry, transportation, and buildings, we have a whole suite of solutions right there in all these different circles. Then we go down to supporting sinks, and we can see that we have a lot of solutions already in the land area and some very promising ones beginning to emerge in oceans and with engineered solutions as well. And finally, we can see by improving society, especially access to healthcare and education, we actually introduce kind of a secondary set of climate solutions that play a really big role as well. And it's kind of amazing. No one of these solutions is big enough to do the whole job. They're kind of equally spaced around sources in different sectors and between sources and sinks and society. But if we pull them together, we can maybe change the future. So let's take a look. We took all of the kind of solutions we estimated before, where we crunched the numbers to see how big they could be, and we ran them through a computer model of the Earth's atmosphere and our climate to see what might happen. Well, here's what we found. If we look at the atmosphere and its concentration of greenhouse gases, the red curve kind of shows, you might call it business as usual. We start in 2020 where we are now, basically, and run forward with our best guesses about the future use of energy, land, and materials. But then we introduced the drawdown solutions in the yellow curve, and we did an even more aggressive scenario in the green curve. These two scenarios say we're going to tackle climate change either aggressively in yellow or really aggressively in green. And when we do this, guess what we find? It turns out that by deploying solutions we already have in place and just getting going with them, we can stop climate change and reach that moment of drawdown as early as the 2040s and maybe through the 2050s to 2060s. All of those possibilities between the yellow and the green are entirely possible. And remember, these are solutions that already exist and already work. There's nothing new here, we just have to deploy them. So what would that do to our climate? Well, again, that red curve, that kind of business as usual, just keeps warming. And it's going to head to warming of about 2.5 degrees here, and it probably heads towards 3 and beyond. That's like a whole other planet. We don't want to go there. The yellow curve and the green curve, though, we find actually stabilize our temperatures between 1.5 degrees warmer and 2 degrees warmer. That's again, right now we're at 1 degree warmer than normal. We could stop it at about 1.5 to 2 degrees. And that's when we start slamming the brakes on climate change. And those targets basically correspond to what we call the Paris Accords. This was an international agreement which would say, let's limit climate change to no more than 1.5 to 2 degrees. And we find we can actually pull it off. Well, that's looking at the big picture. In reality, we've got to look at the specific solutions and kind of drill down into each of them. In our original book back in 2017, we ran some numbers and presented kind of a ranked list of solutions. It looked a little bit like this, where we said at the top, there are some solutions. In this case, with wind turbines, solar panels, food waste, changing our diets, and so on. And we ranked them from like 1 through 80 and kept going and going. That's great. And people love rankings for some reason. It's kind of clickbait. And people want to compare their favorite solution to your favorite solution and all that. That's cool. But what we learned is we also have to deploy all of them. So to me, it doesn't quite matter what the rankings are. Is number 23 really that different than number 25 since we have to do them anyway? So basically, let's do all the solutions and look at them in context. So we're going to look at them like this. It turns out that we can look at solutions, whether they're from the sources, the sinks, or society all at once. And we can look at all the multiple sectors of the economy and of nature and see how they all play out. Then we can look at what we call solution clusters, like things that are about energy efficiency, promoting renewables, protecting ecosystems, kind of big groupings of solutions. And then we can drill down to the specifics of which solution exactly where and how big they could be, one by one by one, and so on. And we can walk through all these different sectors: electricity, food, industry, transport, and we can see land sinks. We can see how health and education plays a role. And we put it all together. We have kind of the master slide. This is the roadmap for how we can stop climate change, all in one picture. So these are the solutions. These are the things, if we put them out and put them to scale, could actually stop climate change. And every single one of these exists. In the future, we can add more of them as we learn more and develop new technologies, but there's nothing that should stop us from starting today. But inevitably people will say, well, this will cost too much. It doesn't take, we don't have enough money. It'll cost too much to society. Let me show you that's completely not true. It's just utter nonsense. It's actually a lie. It turns out that yes, initially we do have to put some money on the table to implement climate solutions. Of course we do. In this scenario, we're putting about $25 to $30 trillion at first. This graph I'm showing you is what we call a cost curve. Economists use it to kind of look at things we should do and how much they cost. On the horizontal axis, going left to right, we have all the climate solutions in order in terms of their costs, from cheapest to most expensive, all stacked together. The vertical is what each one of them costs, going up and down. But we see some of these things actually save you money on day one, like energy efficiency. Other solutions to the right cost some money up front. But if we run the clock forward about 20 to 30 years or so, and we incorporate these savings that these climate solutions generate, or new kinds of revenue, we find that almost all of them save enormous amounts of money, far more than they cost originally. In fact, if we, in this scenario, spend about $28 trillion, which is a lot of money, but it's a lot less than we use to subsidize fossil fuels and our world's militaries and other things, we actually make back about $145 trillion, which oil and the military and other things couldn't possibly do. So this is about a 5-to-1 return on investment and there's really no downside at all. And this doesn't even count the cost of avoiding dangerous climate change. If the world got 2, 3, 4 degrees warmer than normal, it would be catastrophic and cost untold trillions of dollars and affect hundreds and hundreds of millions of lives in incredibly bad ways. So this is the biggest bargain in history. I think of it as the largest economic and job creation opportunity we've ever seen. So when people tell you, oh, it's not economical to tackle climate change, it's, first of all, a lie. What they're really saying is, this is actually kind of inconvenient for very powerful special interests right now, so please don't talk about it. So what have we learned? We've learned that, yes, we actually have today enough solutions to stop climate change. They are big enough. In fact, when we put about 80 of them together, and we're adding more all the time, we have enough solutions in our back pocket to stop climate change. And together, these solutions would make the world better, healthier, more prosperous, more resilient, and more secure than we've ever been. And we can prevent huge damages to the future and leave a beautiful living planet for future generations.
Phew, I'm glad you said it. So as you can see, this is Project Drawdown. If you're curious about the solutions and their studies, I highly suggest you check out their website and go to their Project Drawdown solution, table of solutions page. As he was saying, we need all of us to participate in the solutions. And some are, of course, things that we can't immediately affect, like bamboo production, but there are some that we can, such as carpooling, clean cooking, right? Electric bikes, cars, trains, green rooftops, hybrid cars, high-speed rail, insulative gas, heat, solar, just more greener energies, any energy efficient saving thing that you can do, as well as composting, something that our garden will be doing in the future. So there are things that you can do, and I hope you can click on this website and look at this with all the data. If you click on each grid, green rooftops and cool roofs, there's a whole section with all the scientific articles and things to do. So it's really a wonderful site. Highly suggest it. So what else can we do? Plant-rich diets, right? Whatever we grow in the garden, let's eat that instead. So, and public transit, recycled metals, paper, plastics, right? All recycle. Reduce plastics in general. Reduce food waste, major contributor. Something in your home, smart thermostats, net zero buildings, right? The LED or LED lighting, low flow fixtures, anything that you can make your house more energy efficient, right? Insulation. So there are ways that each person can make a difference. As trees planted today, or plants planted, walkable cities, right? Walk instead of drive. It not only is good for you, it helps your waistline, but it helps the planet at the same time. So double the whammy of goodness. You also have telepresence because of the pandemic, interestingly enough, like I am right now, virtually there with all of you, right? So I don't have to commute. I don't have to drive a car. I'm not adding to pollution. So there's many ways each and every one of us can be the solution. And that's where True Mother was wise in saying science and religion, technology and humanity, all aspects have to come together because we need to all work together as one family under God, right? So these are QR codes. I don't know if you know how to use it, but pull out your camera. I hope you can sign up and support and join and donate to us. We have the HG IFAS QR code here. So all you have to do is open your camera phone, click on that nice little photo button, aim it at the HG IFAS QR code, take a picture. It will take you directly to the HGIFAS.org site. And then at the same time, the next picture you take is for the Earth and I, our publication. So just take a picture of that QR code under the Earth and I, and it will take you to the earthandI.org. And when you get there, please sign up for our publication, our newsletters, all our activities, and support and be the change you want to see in the world that your parents want you to be for the sake of your children and your grandchildren and all of creation, right? So I want to just end with Father's quote. This beautiful tree. We need to have a heart that that knows how to love nature and love people. Anyone who cannot love nature or love people is not capable of loving God. Only a person who can love nature can love God. So really, again, Father's emphasizing, if you are a spiritual, religious person, then you love God. Then we must love nature. We must stand together in this battle, right? Existential crisis of the fate of our planet and all of creation. And since I did make your mind very heavy with the environmental climate crisis and sixth mass extinction, and you might be very stressed right now, I'd like you to go on a meditation with me. I'd like to do a meditation with Fathers Hundeke from Peace Loving Global Citizen, his autobiography. And I just look at this picture. This is a father and mother and me. This is 1978. So if they started ICUS in 1972, in this picture, I'm dating myself, but I'm 2 years old. So you can figure out the math. But I'm sure they didn't envision me speaking to all of you on Earth Day 2023 about an existential crisis, right? And when they started ICUS in 1972, I don't think they even envisioned what kind of catastrophic world we're creating for ourselves, right? And how the mission of the third blessing, dominion over creation, right? Father perfected individual perfection, two parents perfected family creation, perfection. But really, dominion over creation, the third blessing has yet to be achieved, right? And we know we're far off. We're meeting the sixth mass extinction. So this is True Mother's heart. She called me and asked me, I need you to be a part of HGIFIS and really save the world, as True Parents' mission has been trying to do, right? And I really, True Mother's amazing. She is really taking on the third blessing. And her concern is not only her children, grandchildren, future grandchildren, right? All of your children and all life on earth, all this beautiful nature. So to connect ourselves to that original mind, original heart, that really understands not only true parent, but heavenly parent, right? Our source of all life, this beautiful earth. We need to know that inside of each and every one of you is a heart of Hyojung, and the divine spirit of our heavenly parent, the light, is in each and every one of you. Just need to tap into it. So to do so, we're going to do a meditation. And meditation helps you align your spirit, mind, and body to the original compass, right? Of your own heart and the heart of heavenly parent that is within you. So to do that, wherever you're sitting or standing, you may be sleeping, some of you. This has been quite long. But I would like you to gently now close your eyes, or if you have them closed, keep them closed. Relax your shoulders away from the ears. Find your spine nice, tall, reaching for the sky, right? Growing tall. Feeling a lightness all about you and feeling grounded, whether you're seated with your sit bones or standing with your foot on all four corners, supported by this glorious earth. So please align your hearts and your mind to receive True Father's amazing words in this meditation. The most powerful force in the world is love, and the most fearful thing is a mind and body united. If you quiet yourself and focus your mind, there's a place deep down where the mind is able to settle. You need to let your mind go to that place. When you put your mind in that place and go to sleep, then when you awake, you will be extremely sensitive. That is the moment when you should turn away all extraneous thoughts and focus on your consciousness. Then you will be able to communicate with everything. If you don't believe me, try it right now. Each life form in the world seeks to connect with itself, that which gives it the most love. So if you have something you truly don't love, then your possession or dominion is false and you'd be forced to give it up. But talking about the universe with the insects, spending time in the forest cleanses the mind. The sound of the leaves rustling in the wind, the sound of the wind blowing through the reeds, and the sound of the frogs croaking in the ponds. All you can hear are the sounds of nature. No extraneous thoughts enter the mind. If you empty your mind and receive nature into your entire being, there is no separation between you and nature. Nature comes into you and you become completely one with nature. And in the moment, that boundary between you and nature disappears, and you will feel a profound sense of joy when nature becomes you and you become nature. Haju. Gently open your eyes. Welcome back to this glorious Earth Day Springfest with all your brothers and sisters here gathered. All the divine lights in all of you, I bow to you, Aju, and Namaste. And leaving you with some beautiful pictures of our beloved true father and family with creation, and our beautiful true mother, the Queen of Peace, right? Our ultimate savior of all life on earth, in beautiful Hawaiian Queen Coffee Garden, which one day I hope you can join us. So thank you, everybody. Have a lovely Springfest and enjoy the garden activity that we have with our Director of Outreach, Greg Jones. He will be here to talk to you about an amazing new opening of the Belvedere Garden Ministry. So we invite you to that, and we wish you and all your families well, and make sure you click onto our QR code and follow and join us and support us. God bless you all.
I think please give yourselves a round of applause. Yes, thank you. Thank you for being here and listening through it. I've gone around talking to some of you. Some of you felt it was very insightful. Very insightful. She definitely knows what she's doing, and this is something that's near and dear to Mother's heart. So thank you for taking the time to be here to listen to it. But it's not over yet. It's actually, we have just a small part left. There's a lot of intellect. Now we're going to go into will. I believe there was some emotion there too. We're going to do will. And so what can you actually do? Based on this presentation, what can you actually do in your home, wherever you are? And to share about that very briefly, I'd like to invite up the outreach director, which Sun Jin Moon was referring to, Greg Jones. And then we'll go straight into Garden Service Project.
We got the clicker. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I hope this works. Good to see you all. Thanks for coming today. And thank you, Dr. Moon, for that amazing presentation. Thank you, Dr. Yong and Reverend Nakimi. And glad you all can be here. Let me just go over briefly some activities that you can do. How can you address this environmental issue as individuals? Well, just a couple words. For a number of years, HJ IFAS has been researching the solutions for the environmental issues. Of course, there's many scientific solutions, as the speaker in the video showed. But we eventually, of course, we know the most sustainable, most secure solution are true parents' words and lifestyle of living for the sake of others. Really, we can't get around that. Even if we do every type of scientific solution, people will find a way to mess things up. They really will. And we won't get anywhere. We have to perfect ourselves to become true people. So if you read into Divine Principle, the realization of the third blessing comes from two components to it. And number one, we need to become people of true love, of course, and live for the sake of the natural world. It's time for all people to know God, build a true relationship to God, and clearly understand our relationship to nature. Do you know what? It's the last days, people. This is the time to do that. The truth is here. True parents are here, and we can know God. So that's the hope, right? Hey, this is the third stage of the last days. It's time to realize, and as Dr. Yong is speaking to ministers right now, we have to get the ministers on board with this. So while we are in nature, when we do service activities and go out and work in nature and be in nature, we should be prayerful. That's God's sanctuary. That's God's place. That's God's temple. Nature is awesome. And we should, even stepping on the ground, it's not dirt, people. That's a living ecosystem. More mysterious than all of the universe is the soil. What's going on in the soil, we still don't know. So we should be, nature is awesome. The more we learn about nature, the more we become enthralled with nature. The intricate details, amazing. It's made scientists into believers, really. We become grateful and appreciative to the Creator. Anyway, if it was sunny today, I would say go out and lay down on the grass and look up at the clouds. Have you ever done that? That's a good thing to do. Just really be absorbed into nature. There, Matthew has done it. So first, we need to become perfected people, of course. And the principle says we need to become perfected couples before we can really take care of the third blessing. But individually, we need to perfect ourselves. And the second part is that as some of you probably are going into science or already in science, you will get, what we're saying here is that as you become a God-centered scientist, aligned with God, which means living for the sake of others. You're not in your job. You're not beholden to the director of that scientific study. You're not politically aligned with any political party. You're aligned with God. And then through that, you'll get inspiration. Many scientists through history have received direct inspiration from God. And that will quicken our way to solve the environmental crisis as scientists really gain inspiration from God. That's what the principle says. We need to become aligned with the heart of God. And then we can, for people that are thinking beyond race, beyond religion, beyond national borders and boundaries, we're living for the sake of others, then God can be with us. In this verse, I always go back to this verse. It really shows that we have fallen. For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons and daughters of God. For the creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it in hope that the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to corruption. For we know the whole creation has been groaning together in the pains of childbirth. Not only the creation, but we ourselves, who have first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for adoption as sons, redemption of our bodies. So human beings and the creation are suffering because of the fall. And of course, God is suffering. And this verse, I want to leave with you that this incredible verse from Father from 1959 gets you into a spiritual place when you approach nature. Have you ever wished you could enter into a mystical state or spiritual experience or into the realm of God's grace and look at a flower from that perspective? Have you ever regarded a flower with the same sincere heart you would express toward an ancestor you long to meet? Have you ever looked at the mountains and rivers and felt such incredible inspiration from God, from nature, that you spontaneously burst forth praising God? If you have never had this kind of experience, I can only conclude that you are not qualified to be a Lord of creation. Even we should have just burst into tears when we're in nature. We should have that kind of feeling about the suffering that nature's been through because of human beings. And we are the ones that become more sensitive now at this time to nature and to heal nature. So these are the things that I'm promoting as the outreach director. Not only environmental service activities, but environmental educational service activities. I would suggest that you find something you like to do where your passion is. If you're passionate about gardening, do gardening environmental education service activities. If you're passionate about hiking, lead a hike or find somebody that can lead the hike with you and take people with you. I chose gardening. I find that this activity is healing, enjoyable, and a great community project. And we can relate to God well in the garden. We can live for the sake of others. In our garden in Maryland, we donated 178 pounds of kale. That's a lot of kale. That's the most nutritious vegetable on earth, one of the most. And it was a great thing. Everyone was very happy to donate that. So the entire time in the garden, you're living in a space of living for the sake of others. Just that realm is so healthy spiritually to create such a realm. We grow the garden on the property of a large Christian church. I'm telling you what I'm doing, because I'm not just going to say, hey, go out and do it. This is what I'm doing. So it's a model that others can do. On a property of a large Christian church and work with a team of members of that church. We created a small group at the church, the garden ministry. So we meet every 2 weeks in addition to gardening, and we have study and fellowship. So I suggest looking at gardening as a possible service activity, hiking club. Get a bunch of your people together that you're friends with at church, and suggest a hiking club or a nature club. These types of activities, you can spend time with people, and you can educate them when you're on the hike. Of course, you can talk about God, and you can get them into a spiritually aligned mentality, and you can talk and educate people about nature. Father said we should learn about the trees, the birds, the mammals, and the rivers, the soils in our state. The state leaders should go all over the state. Nature clubs, litter cleanup is a great project, but you need something that you can do ongoing to stay with people and develop a relationship with. Invasive species is a good one. Park cleanup, city gardens. I've made a list of 120 activities. So all of our providential organizations can benefit from doing such environmental educational service activities. ACLC should not just be sitting in a lecture hall all the time. They should get people out and doing things. CARP, it's really CARP want to be active. They want to do things. So we're doing things with CARP in Maryland. Educated through parents teaching. 1 minute, that's all I need, brother. Okay. Environmental education service activities, make a small group. So we're spreading this around the country. This is my small group at the Maryland Mid-Atlantic Community Church. It's a 2,000 member church. And it's a really well mixed demographically. You see all white folks there, but there's some black folks too. I worked in years with Baltimore, going door to door churches. And I wanted to break through with this kind of group, this kind of a church. This is my wife. We got already harvested. This is our garden already this year. That was last week. This was last year at the Mid-Atlantic Community Church. This is a project with ACLC, CARP together. He's a pastor of the church. They all know I'm a unification member. The one on the right is reading Father's book from the 1950 to 1960. His words, he's very inspired by it. I blessed 2 of those pastors. And there's the church in the background. It's on 55 acres. So if you choose a church, I chose this one because it has no hierarchy. No one above those guys can kick me out. Those 3 have to do it. And it becomes very personal. And they haven't kicked me out. These are just some of the meeting that we had, but it's all God, humans, and nature. It's all environmental stuff. So some of the pictures. And wait a minute, I wanted to show you this. Did we skip the Belvedere Church? I thought I did. Anyway, the Belvedere Church was begun back in February, and they're already off to an awesome start. Mika and Pastor Akamoto are really taking a lead with Dominic, and I want to mention Q and Sister Isabella. Isabel, are you here? No? They're out in the garden probably. But thank you very much, and I hope you guys can be inspired by doing environmental education service activities. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, so now's the time for action. Now's the time for Will, and I know that everyone who stayed to this time is very much interested in what's going to happen at the greenhouse. So we're actually going to go there now. Mika Rothstein, who's also heading this, is going to take you right there. Mika, if you can open the gates, we'll have a grand opening. Just open the gates. Everyone, we're going to go up there. Please walk up to the greenhouse if you're interested. And for everyone else, things are happening. Things are happening. So feel free to be a part of it. Also, if you'd like to learn more about what Sun Jin talked about, we have Chris Wilkening. Chris Wilkening is right up in the front here. If you'd like to learn more, please meet him. He will tell you more. But with that, also, if you haven't registered, please register at the front desk. Front desk right there. The front desk, register, get your pink, and get your tickets. Greenhouse right now. Down, down, down. Everybody down to the greenhouse. You're going to be painting some pots, planting some seed, and saving the planet. We'll see you all soon.